is Native American silversmithing and metalsmithing. And the tools, you have to have a lot of tools for this trade. And I'm going to show you some of the tools first, and then we're going to talk about designing and actually hammer a piece or two, okay? Now all the tools, we have lots of different files. You see these different shapes. Once you have a piece, you have to cut it and smooth it, because this is all metal. You have copper, and you have silver and bronze. These are the metals we start out with. And it's flat. When they're taken out of the ground, they come out in lumps like this, and they're melted down, and then they're hammered flat where we can use them. So that's how you get the copper and the silver ready to use. That's a piece flattened. We make bowls and vessels out of it. Copper bracelets. You see the little designs in this?
Mm-hmm. Did they carve those?
You see these tools here? All of these little stamps. These are called stamps. And every one of them has a different design on the end. And that's how you get all these little designs in the metal. See this? Mm-hmm. So that's how that's. There's different. Now this is beading. Silversmithing and metalsmithing isn't beading, but this goes along with it, because if you have a nice piece that you make, then you want to bead it where you can wear it, right? Mm-hmm. So that kind of goes along with it. But you see all this flat part here? That's silver. That is how this starts out. It's just a flat piece. And then each piece, you take another piece and twist the wire. That has to be put on there. And then you take this piece to hold the stone in. And to get that to stick, you see how it's on there stuck. It's not glued on there. That's setting a stone. What you have to do is use a torch. You can use a torch like this. You get it real hot. And you put it on the metal. And right before the melting point, it grabs each other. You have to be very, very careful when you get to that point. But that's with a torch, hot torch, and flux. That's how you get all these little pieces to stay on there. You see those little balls there? Mm-hmm. Those are all separate little balls. Everything's put on separate. See this little guy here? That's just a shape cut out. And all that is called soldering. And that's all soldered together. And then the copper's laid on top after you cut it out. And you have to cut out all these little pieces separate. And you use this to do that. You have to put that here. And cut out your design. But first, when you make a design, let's say you want to make a turtle. You draw it first and make a pattern. That way you can use him over and over if you like it. You use the same one. You lay it on your metal, just like you're cutting fabric, right? And you put it on the edge, and you trace around it. And then you take your saw, and you actually saw it out.
Now, how did they, draw it out if they wanted to make certain
You can
designs?
take a little scratch tool. Yeah, a little sharp tool, and just scratch around it. A little sharp tool, yeah.
So with all the details that they put into this metalsmithing, how long would it take?
Well, it's according to how intricate the piece is, actually. You see this piece here? Mm-hmm. That would have taken a lot longer, because each piece is separate, and each one of these little pieces has to be hand cut and handmade. Mm-hmm. And all this has to be put on there, and all this has to be soldered on, and then the last step is putting the stone in. So it takes a long time to make a piece. But something like this would take a lot less time than this, of course. Mm-hmm. But let's see. You see this piece here? That's the flat stock again I just showed you. And when you have a nice stone, you put the little stamps to make the designs.
Where would they find the colorful stones at?
That comes, this type of metalsmithing is actually more Navajo. It's the Native Americans from out west. The Cherokee used teeth and made wooden beads. There's some more teeth. And they made bone beads. And most of the Cherokee jewelry was made like this. Now the silversmithing and metalsmithing is more out west, okay? And I love that type of jewelry, so I incorporate all of it together. But Cherokee didn't have all the silver and the turquoise stones and all.
Could
they
they
were more
ever-
natural people.
Could they ever get like the silver if they wanted it?
Yeah, now you can, yes. They got it. But at first they just used the bones and claws and all that. Okay, I'm going to let you lean over here and let you hammer a little bit. I want you to feel this. It's a pretty heavy hammer, okay? And you can pick you a stamp here and sit it on this piece. Hold it tight. See how it makes the designs? So that would be exactly the same way I did this. Would you like to try it?
Sure.
Okay. Ready? Now all these have different designs on them. You can just pick one out.
Do I hold it this way or this way?
Use the big end. Yeah. Let's get you a bigger piece. That'll work. So we can get a new piece here and use that. Hit it pretty hard 2 times. Okay, let's look at it. There it is. See? And you just move it around in different spots, and you can try different ones. Hit it hard. Okay, hit it hard about 3 times. Perfect. Now this also, here's other tools here. You see this? This is actually a drill. When you want to put a hole in something, you can actually put the metal here.
So did they have those back then?
No, they would just pierce it with a sharp object. Yeah, this came along a little later. But you just hold that and turn this, and it turns this part here and drills a hole in it. That's just an old way to do it.
Did this come a little later, or did?
Yeah, this is later. This is how we do it now. Yeah, but then it's still... Okay, come over here. Get it started and bear down on here. And just pull down. Every time, there you go. Okay. And if we had a design drawn in here, you would actually turn the metal, cut out a turtle design or whatever you like to cut. That's wonderful. You're doing real good. See this right here? This I have actually drawn out. It's going to be a pair of earrings. Then I drew the design on here, and I'll cut this sterling silver out and put the setting around it, and those will be earrings.
So did you make most of these?
Mm-hmm. See this? This is all the parts and pieces that you would put to make this piece right here.
Oh, that's pretty.
That's the flat piece. There's the stone, and this is all the different little parts and pieces you need just to make that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Does it take you a really long time?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But it's worth it. It's fun to do. Okay. Questions?
How long have you been doing this?
Oh, I've been doing this for about 20 years. Yeah. It's been rewarding, and a lot of people come to me with custom work. And I teach classes and teach